Hey, it's Katie, and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today's video is my April TBR, and like other months, I will be pulling 4 prompts out of my TBR jar, and I will pick books off my physical TBR that match each prompt because I'm trying to read 60% of my physical TBR by the end of the year. And last month, I ended up reading 3 out of 4, so that went really well, and I'm hoping this month goes just as well. Let's pick the first prompt. All right, prompt number 1. They're all just like stuck together. There we go. A book published this year. This is going to be hard because I have a lot of books that I'm excited to read that I just recently got. So let me grab a couple. So the 2 books I brought back were Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover and Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. And I think I'm going to go with Reminders of Him because this book will probably hurt and I need a little extra motivation to finally pick it up. I have been wanting this book for a while. Okay, wait, that's kind of not true. I got it in January, like right after it came out. So I've had it for a while, but I just need like that little extra push to pick it up because this is about an ex-convict and she's a single mother. She's trying to reconnect with her daughter, but nobody really wants to give her that chance or that opportunity to redeem herself except for this local bar owner, and he's like the only one that kind of will give her another shot. So this just sounds really emotional and like heartfelt. So I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I'm going to make myself read it in April. All right, prompt number 2. A book about a curse. Okay, I ended up choosing A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I've had this book for over a year now, and for some reason still haven't picked it up, but from what I understand, this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that's really all I know. I know there's like a prince, a curse, and a monster, and I think she has to figure out how to break the curse to save this kingdom. So it sounds really interesting, and I need a little push to read this one, just like Reminders of Him. Prompt number 3. Oh gosh. Okay, this one's kind of falling out, so we're going to go with this one. An author of color. I have a few options for this that I'm really excited to read, so let me grab some of them. I chose Don't Hate the Player by Alexis Ned. Alexis Ned is a Black author, and this is a cute rom-com. I think both of the main characters are gamers. There's like this esports tournament. I know that our main girl is a field hockey player by day and a gamer by night, and she keeps it a secret from everybody in her life. And then the boy, I think, has had a crush on her since they were little and learns her secret and tries to keep her secret for her while they work together to win this esports tournament. At least that's kind of what I'm getting from the synopsis, but it sounds really cute, and I love when characters have really fun hobbies, especially if they're not my own hobbies. So I think it's really cool that there's a gamer romance, and it also has a blurb by Casey McQuiston on the cover, so it has a great stamp of approval. All right, let's pick our last prompt. Goodreads. Okay, so basically what this means is that I am going to scroll through Goodreads, but I'm just going to keep scrolling through my feed until I see a book that I own and I haven't read. So this might take a while, but let's see how this goes. Okay, the first one I saw was House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, which I can go grab real quick, but the reason I sound kind of sad about it is because it is so big, and I am going to have to reread House of Earth and Blood before I read House of Sky and Breath. So that is a big investment, but I think I can do it. I'm really excited for this book. I loved the first one in the Crescent City series, so let me grab it and I will show you how big it is. This is a monster of a book. Like, I can't even wrap my head around how big this is. It's like almost 800 pages. So it's going to take me a while. I did kind of fly through the first one though, so I'm hoping the same thing happens with this. But like I said, I'm going to have to reread the first one before diving into this one, so it may take me a while. But this is the motivation I needed to pick this up because it's just really intimidating. I mean, look at this thing. Okay, so I grabbed the other 6 books, and the first one is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This one just looks like a spring romance, and from what I understand, it follows Naomi, who runs away from her wedding to go help her estranged twin, and when she gets there, her twin steals her car, her money, and leaves her with a niece she didn't know existed. So she basically stranded with this child and has to figure out how to get back on her feet. And I think the love interest, Knox, sees this happen and tries to help her. And I think it's dual perspective, and it's really thick, so I'm hoping it's a slow burn, but it looks so cute, and I'm excited to read it when it's finally like nice and warm outside because it has snowed again recently, and that's sad. So this will brighten up my day and bring some spring vibes. Then we have Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, and this is a dark romance. Basically, this girl gets kidnapped with her sister's fiance, I think, and they've always kind of like antagonized each other. They like to like pull pranks on each other, and they bicker, all this stuff. But basically, they're kidnapped together, and from what I understand, I think they're kidnapped by a serial killer who kidnaps people in pairs, tries to force them to fall in love, and then once they fall in love, that's when he kills them. So that is such an interesting plot. I've never heard anything like that, and it's kind of thin, which I'm a little worried about, but the words are small, so I feel like it's still going to be a slow enough story that I'm going to fall in love with these characters. But it sounds really emotional, but I think it's also spicy, so we'll see how all that ties together, but I'm really excited for this one. Then, because Easter is in April, I decided to add Lessons in Sin by Pam Godwin because obviously we need some Jesus. I need a priest in my life. This is about a priest who is the head teacher of a Catholic boarding school, and basically he's never been tempted by a student before, but then this bratty princess, apparently, named Tinsley, challenges him, and basically she needs to be punished, and it sounds so good and like really spicy, so perfect for around Easter time, obviously. After that, I chose Indigo Ridge by Devaney Perry. I picked this up along with Juniper Hill recently, and I'm really excited to start this series. It follows the Edens, who I think are a bunch of brothers, so each book follows a different brother. This basically is about a girl named Winslow who is the new chief of police in this small town, and she's determined to prove herself to her community. The only problem is, in order to do that, she needs to win over the Edens, who is like the town's founding family, and when she first came to town, she ended up having a one-night stand with their oldest son, which causes some issues. But then there is a woman who was murdered on the Edens property, I think. Yes, a woman is found dead on the Edens property, and so Winslow and Griffin are forced to work together to figure out what the heck happened. I don't typically pick up like mystery romances, but this one sounds really good, so I'm excited to dive into this new series. Then I picked The Heir by Sophie Lark. This is the first book in the Kingmaker series. Before I read this, I do have to read the last book in the Brutal Birthright series because that series is all about these two mafia families that are like bound by marriage, but it's about each of the siblings. They each have their own romance, and then this series is about their children. So I have to finish that before I start this one, but I'm so excited. I just bought the entire Kingmaker series and I can't wait to dive in. From what I understand, Kingmakers is basically this brutal college where the most dangerous mafia heirs are sent, and they're trained to control, dominate, infiltrate, and kill, which sounds crazy. That sounds like such a cool setting. And I think this follows a guy who is trying to protect his best friend because there is this mafia heir from a different mafia who has a lethal grudge and is trying to take everything from him, including his best friend. This series, all the books are really thick, and I am excited to dive in. I love a good mafia romance. It's also set at an academy. Like, what more could you want? And then last but not least, I have Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is part of the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. This is like book 4. Yeah, book 4 in the Addicted series. But I just recently read Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower, so this one is up next in these interconnected series, and I'm excited to get back into Lily and Lo's story. I am loving this series a lot. The core 6 have my heart, and I just love seeing more and more about them, so I am excited to continue the series. If you've read any of these books, please let me know in the comments what you thought about them, spoiler free of course. But those are all the books on my April TBR, so fingers crossed that I actually read a lot of these. Sometimes I don't really stick to my TBR because I am a mood reader, so we will see in May how we did. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe, please click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.